My name is Wolf Krummel. Thank you so much for joining me today. A great, interesting webinar, I believe. We'll be talking about video conferencing, how to use video conferencing in its best form, and then also bonus content webinars. What's a webinar? How to use it? What's a recorded webinar? Streaming webinars, and how can we really apply this in your business to generate more profits? Right? That's what it's all about. All right. Well, one of my businesses is Smarter Revolution. Got to know me through Vitality Evolution, which is a membership website that I'm building that helps people to balance their body, mind, and spirit. But I really started my journey when I migrated from Germany to the US in 1993, and I fell in love with the internet. And since then, I've been involved. So for 27 years, I've been building websites, doing online marketing systems, trade shows, product launches, apps, and whatnot. So a lot of stuff going on. And Smart Evolution is really one of the core beliefs that I have, that we really should work smarter and not harder. And by really utilizing powerful tools like here on the right side, we have, let me put the pointer on. We have ActiveCampaign, powerful tool for CRM and email communication automations. Infusionsoft is another one. And of course, we use the Office Suite. BlueJeans is a video conferencing software tool I'm using. We're using Zapier and Calendly and PySync. And ClickMeeting is the current webinar that we're using. So there are a lot of tools that I like to use to really integrate things and make our efforts of communicating, getting more leads, and ultimately getting more customers, really effortless, more effortless, and you really have that reach. So, but the topic of today's webinar is video conferencing. How are we able to use it? What are some of the must-know facts that we need to know in order to really provide, really highly effective video conferencing? And then later we'll talk about webinars. So 2020, it's a new world. Things have changed, and as we have seen over the last few weeks, we really have the opportunity to reach more people online because they are becoming more aware. They already installed the software they may have not used before, so it gives us an opportunity to really reach out and stay on the top of the game. So right now, I would like to kind of do just a quick poll to kind of see where we at. Let me find this here, on how many of you guys are using video conferencing for your business right now. And maybe not mean like, okay, what have you done, on a personal level, but have you really started thinking and integrating video conferencing in your business? All right. Well, definitely more yeses than no, so which is good. So you guys are really aware. So 50% of people have voted. Let's give it another minute. So because being aware of video conferencing and what it can do for us, I think it's almost like a no-brainer at this point, because you have to work from home. We're really under very much different obligations. So using that is really good. Let me stop the end voting and let me share with you what's going on. So 62% say that have voted, and 15, what is the percentage? Yeah, so we have the majority of people, 3/4, saying that they actually have used video conferencing in their business. All right, very good. So let's jump ahead. So we know we need to implement it, we need to use it. So what are some of the things that we need to know? We'll be talking about the product technical checklist, video conferencing quality. We'll talk about the strategic and proactive mindset that you need to have, and then the management engagement techniques that are really important to know if you work with a team, sharing and collaboration features, and last but not least, video conferencing etiquette. Really some of the things you should take note and take to heart, just so your professionalism is not lost. All right, very good. So the bonus content that we'll be talking about is webinars, how to use recorded and streaming webinars, and how to generate profit, webinars that really generate profit. So we'll talk about that. There are a lot of questions that came in relationship to that, and I will go over those later on. So I really encourage you to stay tuned. All right, very good. So when we're talking about the product and technical checklist, to ensuring the highest quality of video conferencing is really, really important. So by doing that, the first thing we need to consider is that do we have a stable internet? Are you connected over Wi-Fi or are you connected over Ethernet? So it's really important that you try to connect to an Ethernet or LAN cable because the connection is just much more stable. So they have a really good quality feed, a video feed, an audio feed is really important. So keep those factors in mind. The next thing is to keep in mind is, are you using a good video conferencing software program? Zoom or BlueJeans, what I recommend is really nice. So what we can do is, for example, really quickly initiate a meeting. We're able to switch between screen sharing, phone call, or video meetings. We can schedule our meetings out, so everything is scheduled on a calendar that integrates with your primary calendar. And we can really easily change our control settings right here. So BlueJeans is a really nice program that I recommend. Pretty much the same price point as with Zoom. Again, it's just something that you need to figure out, like what you're really comfortable with when it comes down to the right software that you're using. Maybe you're required by some of the people you work with to use Zoom, then that's great, you know? All right, it's really important to stay focused. You need to find a dedicated workspace, you know, really make sure you block out time out of your calendar to be not interrupted. Also set your software controls to not be necessarily interrupted in an important meeting. Maintain a little bit of a to-do list that you can also share with your attendee, that the person that you will be speaking with. Maybe provide some status updates. The next thing to keep in mind is, you know, really understand we're living in a quick chat culture. People have their phones constantly with them. So for you to have a software program that's directly on your phone that you just with the push of a button can connect with somebody and visually have a one-on-one meeting becomes very powerful, yet very easy to do. So that's something that you can offer, especially when you're coaching people, when you have that. Yeah, also remember, you want to be comfortable. So why not sit in the living room, make sure your lighting is right, the setup is right, but you could be on your phone and have a one-on-one conference with somebody rather than always being stuck in front of your computer at your office desk. So kind of consider those kind of benefits as well. Strategic and proactive mindset when it comes to communicating with your team. I mean, say hello at the start of the day. You can catch up personally over video calls, very powerful. And then, of course, you can share your work updates, screen sharing, and so forth. Take a break, make sure you rest. You know, very easily we can get caught up. We're busy, we're trying to push through the day, and suddenly 4, 5, 6 hours later, you're still sitting. So it's kind of important to really keep your personal well-being in mind, kind of like relax, maybe do a little bit of a meditation, take a break, and then make sure you maybe even get some air. The 3 types of mandatory manager engagement techniques that I alluded on earlier are really important. So when you work with a team, think about a morning check-in, a quick hello for everybody connect. Not so much to know that everybody is there and all that, but to kind of like start the day off with that camaraderie, if you will. You can then have a team meeting. That doesn't mean you need to have those on a daily basis. Maybe 3 times a week, twice a week, whatever you think is needed for a team meeting, where it encourages like some good corporate culture, as well as organizational updates, and of course you can utilize screen sharing for that. And then the weekly one-on-one, create a little roadmap, a little bit what's coming ahead, and all that stuff I think is really important. Sharing and collaboration features. You really want to utilize technology that you have at your fingertips to the fullest. So by making sure that your media and documents are available that you can share the entire screen. You can pre-upload videos. You can even use on-screen annotation, what I'm doing right now, or you can mark highlights. So really there are some tools within applications like Zoom, BlueJeans, or ClickMeeting that allows you to kind of be more collaborative, to kind of like be a little bit more visual when it comes down to bring your point across. So that's something definitely to consider. But let's go into video conferencing etiquette. You know, what are some of the things that you really need to take under consideration to make a good impression when it comes down to your professionalism? Your home office setup. Let's talk about camera and lighting. You want to turn your webcam, of course, on. You want to make sure that it's adjusted correctly, fine. Be comfortable, don't be shy. Get used to looking in the camera like what I'm doing now, like speaking to you one-on-one. I know that sometimes I have a very big screen, so my eyes go a little bit here and there, but try to keep that eye contact with your audience. It's really important. I'm using an external mic. Let me show you what I'm using. I just have a little bit of a USB mic, and it's a little lapel mic that I plug in. So for me, that works pretty nicely. It's just a little better pickup. It eliminates a little bit of the external sound outside. And so it's really important. And make sure that you don't have too much light coming in from the back, because that again could kind of decrease the light. I have a light here on the top, I have a little light on the side, and I'm still facing the window. So kind of make sure that your lights are balanced. I put a little bit of a white backdrop back there. That's my office, but I have a couple of closets and stuff in the back. So that kind of helps you with that setup. So kind of set it up once, and then you you can forget about it. So that's kind of the benefit of that. A couple of lighting equipments. For $300, which I think is pretty inexpensive, you get a complete home office lighting kit. It's an LED video kit, for example, so that when you need to actually do something a little bit more, maybe standing up or something a little bit more stagey, I would say, you know, it's great to have some extra lighting that you can pop up if you need to light something out. So again, if this is a tool, if video conferencing is video in general, doing webinars or just doing some recordings and putting them up on YouTube is what your business needs, then treat it like a professional piece of business that you really should develop, that you really should kind of try to make your best out of it, because that's the way you present yourself right now, right? We spoke at the beginning, we're living in a different world. People expect you to kind of be online, you know, be visible. So, you know, try to make your best effort when it comes down to that. All right. Another thing to consider is, again, uniform illumination environment. An option that you see here on the screen is a little bit of the Lume Cube that you're able to attach to the top of your computer. So that's another option as well. Audio background noise. Make sure you're maybe using an external mic. I showed you my lapel mic. Here's the headset mic. Whatever works, run a couple of tests, do a couple of test recordings to kind of get the idea for what works best for you. You can use an external mic. When you use an external mic, make sure you're not moving it around or anything like that while you're doing an interview or while you're doing a video conferencing, to really avoid any unnecessary sounds. Couple more quick things. Check your computer windows. Make sure there's nothing unnecessary open or anything that invoices or anything like that that people should not see. Don't show anxiety or impatience. Just relax. Things can always happen, something like that. So don't freak out. Just relax, because the camera is very quick on picking these things up. Don't get annoyed with technical issues. So just kind of some of the things to keep in mind. You want to simulate eye contact. So again, you know, the little camera, the little dot on the top, that's where you want to focus on. That's where you want to pay your attention on. Remain attentive and awake. You know, so when you get engaging, I hope I'm engaging you. I know we're talking about a lot of dry stuff, but for me, that's fun. It's something that I think that if we want to get our head into it, that I think it could be fun. But again, from your personal perspective, engage people and keep them involved, especially when you're doing webinars. Again, what I said earlier, don't forget the video camera's powerful reach. So really pay attention to that, because you don't want to, pick your nose or do something unnecessary when you're doing a recording that should be utilized later on. Never speak at the same time, especially when you're in a video conferencing and you're working with your teammates or so. Be courteous. The problem sometimes is there could be an audio delay. So, once you become aware of that, you might want to take, that second pause, wait until the other person is actually finished, and then let them continue. Or that's when you jump in and make your comment. Make sure you dress properly, single colors, nothing too loud, nothing too crazy, just to not distract from the communication that you're trying to bring across. It's really nice to prepare a little bit of an agenda before, just to let people know that you're on top of your game, that you appreciate their time, and kind of to ensure that they are really showing up, because it's always annoying in a sense, when you have something scheduled, you get excited, you get dressed up, you're ready, and then nobody shows up. So be respectful of that and encourage other people to then join your meeting by sending that agenda out beforehand. Keep the time zones in mind. Now, the good thing these days is that all our calendar integrations and webinar or video conferencing applications, they are used to, of course, dealing with different time zones automatically. So make sure that you set your time zone correct in the application. That's really important, because otherwise you may schedule the wrong time, and then people connect at the wrong time, and that's when things can get very quickly messy. Be acquainted with your video conferencing features, from software to potential hardware that you will be using in a video room, or even just your webcam or the external mic as these external applications that you will be using. All right, so that was actually already it with the video etiquette, video conferencing. I know I flew through a lot of those things, but again, I will be following up with a PDF document that has all those things out there on a 2-3 page document that you can review and kind of take to heart and maybe implement some of these strategies to make your video conferencing better. But let's talk about recorded and streaming webinars. Now, I'm really excited about them because they're really a powerful platform to reach a captured and very interactive audience. So you can capture your online event with one click. You can actually record it. What I'm doing right now is, and that gives me the opportunity to share it with people that were not able to connect. Maybe something came up. I got several cancellations, and so many people could not connect. That's okay, but you can follow up. You can say like, hey, sorry you missed it, but here's a replay link. So it becomes a powerful tool to extend the length of your recording of your webinar indefinitely. So really take advantage of that. You can share it on social media. I mean, I like to upload it eventually on YouTube, and then you can share it to YouTube. There are direct connections that are being built in within the webinar application that actually automatically can publish it to YouTube automatically. So pretty nice features there. You can create it and use it as reference material. You can do a webinar, for example, chop it into a couple of different pieces, and then say like, hey, here's a 10-minute that talks about video etiquette, for example, or something that talks about, picking the right video conferencing software, and make those available in different pieces. Just an idea. Again, you can replay webinars and just put them on autopilot, integrate them directly into your website. So lots of opportunities for recorded webinars. So the next powerful thing is, and that I think I'm just starting to explore myself, which is streaming webinars. It gives you the ability to have a live Facebook and YouTube stream. Now you need to think about, how can I utilize this? So I mean, currently it's utilized, as you probably heard, a lot of people stream their fitness session, their fitness class online. It's done through a lot of corporate fitness studios as well as individuals. Maybe concerts, music, and all that stuff, but why not use it to educate, to have a forum, to have a discussion, and talk to your Facebook group. So if you have that kind of audience already established, I would say it comes with a very natural understanding to offer a live event. Again, that live event can be recorded, so if people missed it, you can use it as an evergreen or something to refer people back to at a later point. So pretty powerful stuff right there. I'm personally using ClickMeeting. I like it. It's very easy to use, a little bit of time to set up, but once it's all set up, I mean, it's a really powerful tool where you can pump out these webinars on an ongoing basis. So the benefits of using live streaming it, you can reach a really wide audience, right? I mean, again, an audience that can be global. So really think about that reach. You can boost your content's visibility. So you have another way of to promote is what you do. You have a new book coming out. You have a new website launch or a new membership program or anything like that. So streaming live to an audience that can engage with you will become very powerful. And of course, then it's a lead generation machine. So during the webinar, after the webinar, you can now ask people to pre-qualify them further. First of all, just the simple registration process to the webinar in itself is a powerful lead generation tool, because now I know who is interested in this topic, who is interested in this example, video conferencing or webinars. If you have a book, so you can create a book launch webinar, for example, which could be extremely powerful. So when you're able to use and utilize webinars, the next questions come in. Okay, how can I really make them profitable? How can I benefit from investing my time, my effort into this new technology? So let's run through that and see how we can do that. The success of your webinar depends on really attracting the right crowd. Who is your audience, right? Who is connecting? So what I said earlier, if you have a Facebook group, there already you have that audience that you can, for example, like target to. Now you can run specific ad campaigns that are similar to that Facebook group to expand that reach. So there are some possibilities we will go to in a couple of minutes. But first, you need to start setting up a registration form. One of the things that I really would like to tell you to really think about and utilize is to extend the typical registration form. Typically, people just ask for the name and email address and that's it, maybe a phone number. What I like to do is also ask them for their most important question. By doing so, you have another way of targeted follow-up. For example, if you know what their concern is, you can now reach out to them via email, possibly via even a phone call and say, hey, your concern was A, B, and C. Let's talk about this. Let me help you with that. So it becomes a powerful tool. So definitely set up a customized registration form. The next thing to do is create a set of images, banners, something with your brand identity that you can use and now push out on your social media in ways to have people register for the webinar. So again, use your social media platform to kind of push content out that invites people to your webinar's registration page. A really neat way of doing it is to also create a video invitation. So take your webcam, set up a quick room, do a recording, say like, hey, really would love to invite you to my upcoming webinar, maybe talk about the topics, the subject, and the benefits, and what they can walk away with. And then now you can put that on YouTube, and now you can share the YouTube link very easily in your emails and all that stuff. So creating that kind of an outreach is really important. Implement it in your website. You can have a clickable banner saying, hey, a webinar coming up, register now. So definitely don't forget about that. Create a Facebook event. So parallel, when you stream your webinar directly on Facebook, wrap an event around it and make it really something that people are encouraged to join and then to participate. I really encourage people to really consider Google Ads and Facebook, especially during the current pandemic. There's a lot of marketing dollars have shifted, but I really believe that if you have some funds available, it's a good time to get into Facebook ads, to get into Google Ads, because the costs are actually have been lower. Because remember, this is a bidding a bidding system on both platforms. So when there's a downturn, you also have need to pay less to kind of get the same visibility as it maybe just was 2 or 3 months ago. So the key to success is to choose the right keywords in your ads and target the right audience. So really do some research there. I want to put out at this point in time that I got a lot of questions in regard of how to monetize webinars, how to implement webinars, how to follow up after a webinar. So there's definitely not enough time. This was just some bonus content to give you today, but I will have another webinar very shortly. But you're also always very happy to reach out to me directly and schedule a one-on-one consultation with me, because this is really something you need to consider if you want to reach a larger audience. The next thing is to use retargeting. So retargeting works by when somebody comes to your website, they leave your website, they create a cookie, and then that generates a retargeting ad on all the social networks that might be on. The great thing about retargeting is that the cost per ad is actually much, much less than it would be on running some regular campaigns. So even if you want to have a very small budget, retargeting is definitely something that you should consider, because in marketing, it's about repetition. It's about how many times have seen your brand, your book cover, the thing that you promote. So the more they see it, the more likely they will eventually click on it and then register for your webinar or register for your next book event or anything like that, right? You can target your customer base very nicely. The opportunity for us to upload our email list into these systems, and then they automatically actually reach that audience via retargeting. So Google and Facebook allow you to do that. So definitely take advantage of that. You can do a prospecting campaign. You can kind of think about who you're trying to reach. So therefore, setting up Facebook ads and Google ads becomes a task. But once you tackle it and once you understand the ins and outs and hows, it's again a great way to reach it. And remember, if you invest $500 and you make $2,000, I would do that month after month, because it will just increase your revenue just over time. Do email outreach. Think about your list. Maybe you're not having even all your lists all together or organized. So using a CRM like ActiveCampaign or Infusionsoft or even MailChimp are definitely ways that you should need to consider to kind of keep things under in control and know that people get their messages and you can follow up and all that. So make sure that that is all set up and completely functional. Now, when you're starting to do webinars, you might be in an industry where you want to collaborate with somebody. So join forces with your guest speaker. Join forces with them by saying, hey, look, you sent this information to your list. I'll send this all out to my list. So it becomes a powerful collaboration tool that doesn't cost you any more money. So take advantage of that. I highly recommend press release marketing. Simply provide a press release. There's services out there that are relatively inexpensive, and there's some services that will push and publish the press release for you. Even a virtual online press release, a marketing campaign can be very powerful. So you can get things for maybe $30, $40, $50 to push out a press release, which might get you some traction. So again, depending on the event, on what it is that you're doing, I would highly recommend doing so. So besides some of the information that we spoke about earlier when it comes down to video conferencing and video etiquette, I will also follow up with the webinar promotion checklist. We went through this, the registration form, the images, promoting your website, creating a video, social media, Facebook, Instagram. We talked about Google Ads. So I will follow up with some details on that. As I said earlier, my passion is to have you work smarter, not harder, to really use cost-effective and profit-generating marketing automation solutions that in collaboration can really put a lot of things on autopilot and enable you to speak audiences of 50, 500, 5,000 people. So your goals in this new world can definitely shift a little bit when you wrap your mind around it. Like, what kind of reach can you have? So to help you maybe with that, why don't you talk to me? I have 27 years of experience, so pick my brain. I'm more than happy to take my time, and let's see if we can work together. If there's anything that you can just walk away with and say, hey, great, thank you for pointing me in the right direction. It would be a great pleasure to do so. Some of the other services that I offer is, of course, web development. We do social media marketing, of course, paid search, what I alluded early on. If you're stuck with Facebook, if you're stuck with Google Ads and it's just a little bit too much for you, yes, there are a lot of things that go into it. It's running the campaigns right. You can run through your budget, not get a results, and think it might, oh, this is not working, but it might have been just a few different settings that had to be taken care of in order to make things work. So, I've been doing it for many, many years. So, look, more than happy to tell you what works and what doesn't work. Search engine optimization, still important. If you think of trying to be in business more than just the next 3 months or 6 months, if you want to be in business for the next few years, think about search engine optimization. That means that you want to do things that over time will just give you that organic traffic, because organic traffic is free traffic, so can be very powerful. We spoke about live and recorded webinars. I will definitely do another webinar just on live and recorded webinars, how to set it up, how to run the promotion, how to monetize it, and all that good stuff. So you will get an invitation from me for that. But if you have questions in the meantime, again, click on the top where it says secure your spot. That's my calendar, 30-minute time slot. Let's meet online. Let's do a screen share. Let's talk and see if there's anything that you can benefit from my expertise. We help to drive qualified traffic to your business, of course. I'm really good with converting leads into customers. So I've worked with so many businesses over the years. It's kind of sometimes it comes very easy to me to understand, oh, let's do this, because I may have done it, or I've been already working in an industry and all that stuff. So definitely talk to me, and then let's see how we can convert those visitors into customers. And then, of course, brand loyalty, how to utilize your brand, how to keep design under control, how to integrate your app and all that stuff. So definitely things I can help you with. So we have a lot of customers. Alexis here, she was really happy. I set her up with a complete automation system integrating ActiveCampaign, all that, for her fitness website. Well, what time is it? Okay, we did about almost 40 minutes. So as I said, a little bit after 30 minutes. Great. Let me see if we have any more questions. Sure. So people were saying, can I schedule time with me? Yeah, just click on the top, secure your spot now, and I will follow up with you by email. Anyways, typically my email signature has my phone number in there. Send me a text message first, or send me a WhatsApp message, and let's set up a call. Again, I appreciate it. This was recorded and will be recorded, so I can follow up with you in case you want to revisit it. But again, I appreciate your time, and be safe and have a great weekend. Thank you so much.